immediately? Thank you.
So we'll rewind. There's a Polaroid picture in my mind. It's me at 12 years old, and I want to tell that kid that he's alright. These are the best years of his life. There's an 8-bit game inside my head. Just one more hit and I'll be dead. I duck and jump and charge ahead, and I never lose. I just reset. I'm twisted up inside. My part. I'll learn my lesson at the start, but in the end I get torn apart. No matter how fast I go, I find a part of me gets left behind. The future calls and I decline. I turn and fight the winds of time. I'm twisted up inside, but nonetheless I feel the need to say I don't know the future, but the past keeps getting
Okay, is everyone ready to celebrate? Okay, for those of you who'd like to take a seat, please take a seat. We're gonna begin the program now. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Sheila Hess, and I am honored to serve as your city representative. So today is a special day here in the city of Philadelphia, and what a better place to welcome Philadelphia's own Adam F. Goldberg than our beautiful City Hall. Let's give it up. We are extremely proud to recognize the success of his newly syndicated, that's right, syndicated now, hit ABC television comedy, The Goldbergs. And you can tell, Adam, that you have such fans just in this room, let alone the entire city of Philadelphia and across the world. And with us in the audience, we have a lot of special fans of yours. So we are proud to have today with us our dear friend, Bernie Prezenica, President and General Manager of 6ABC, where the Goldbergs will debut a 5th season on Wednesday, September 27th at 8 p.m. We also want to welcome Vince Giannini, Senior Vice President and General Manager of our own PHL 17, which is the new home of the Goldbergs in syndication that started on Monday. Weeknights, you can catch it at 6 and 7:30 p.m. on PHL 17. We also have a thank you. You may have been greeted by a special guest, and that is Mike Kunda, who has invited his close personal friend, Rocky, to be here to help greet our guests, our Philadelphia flavor. And we even have Mike Nice, who is the executive director of Dancing on Air, which was the 80s TV hit dance show, and then Dance Party USA here in attendance with us. And there's Mike, and we had Sharon Pickinson from the Greater Philadelphia Film Office as well. So we have a lot of extra special guests, and we also have joined with us today. We're proud to have Naomi Atler and representatives. She is the CEO and representatives from the Jewish Federation of Greater Philadelphia, who are your big fans. So thank you all so much for coming out today. So Adam Goldberg's meticulous attention to detail casts Philadelphia in all its glorious 1980s style, yes, sporting this headband, 1980s style, in a leading role on the Goldbergs. There have been leading television shows set in Philadelphia, but few have been as successful in showcasing the personality, the places, of course, our humor and our loyalty and love of family that runs so deeply than in Philly. The Goldberg family resides in Jenkintown, that's okay. But in the 1980s, and an era that I can recall perfectly, as you might get, like I said, from the look of the room here with our headbands and our fanny packs and so much more. And we have a little surprises over here, but for 4 decades have come and gone since. But you can still knock on any door in my neighborhood of South Philly, and you'll find people with the same dreams, hopes, and worries about what the future holds for their kids. And in 2017, the city's surname are more diverse. The fashion and landmark shops have certainly changed with the times, but those family values is what still rings true. And as city representative, and as a true Philadelphian, I am thrilled to see our city portrayed with such warmth and reality and humor. So, and speaking of warmth and reality, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the host of today's celebration for a very special presentation. Let's give it up for our own Mayor Jim Kenney.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Yo, Rock, where you been? You don't come around, you're a big deal now, you got a couple movies, you don't show up, what? Oh, my. It's the most famous statue in Philadelphia, actually. Am I wrong? So good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to pay tribute to Adam F. Goldberg, who honors the people of Philadelphia and our surrounding suburbs every Wednesday, and now every weekday, with his positive depiction on the Goldbergs. Everyone who grew up in the region, myself included, can relate to this show from hanging out outside the Wawa, grabbing hoagies and cheesesteaks with friends and family, and most notably cheering on our sports teams, which in the 80s wasn't exactly the easy thing to do. This in particular is what I appreciate most. Not only does it bring me back to enjoying Flyers, Eagles, Phillies, and Sixers games in person with my dad, but he actually provides an accurate depiction of Philly fans. Too often TV shows and movies were portrayed as angry, but Adam accurate gets what we're just passionate and a little bit crazy. After one episode, which was particularly emotional, he also gave a very fitting tribute to our own Ed Snyder, a man who had done so much for Philadelphia and for sports, and one of my favorite, if not my favorite team, the Flyers. So speaking of tributes, we want to present you with our version of a crack bell, which is no longer rings, but this one actually does ring, by the way. One on this side. Let me take this. And again, Adam, congratulations for all your accomplishments on stage and on screen. And thank you for bringing a little bit of Philly attitude to Hollywood and everywhere else that you go. Welcome home and keep making us proud. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Mayor. So, Adam, we have some special guests and a surprise for you. So Philadelphia's great sports team and their die-hard fans are often part of the Goldberg storyline, as are the signature sandwiches at a favorite family food store. We're photo op. Okay. So now, Adam, your surprise guests include, well, not really surprise anymore because you've been talking, but it's a pleasure to bring up your friends and our friends here in the city of Philadelphia, Ike Richmond, who was Adam's real-life hockey coach when Adam was a young player with the Flyers Fever, and he has the picture. So Ike is Vice President for Public Relations for Comcast Spectacor, and he's here to present Adam with a special Flyers memento. Ike?
Sit down for a minute. Mr. Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Sheila, thank you as well. Who knew when I was in high school volunteering at a local ice skating rink that one of these kids would go on to greatness? And let me tell you a little secret. These kids, some of them could skate, some of them couldn't, and one of them could not even stand up on ice skates. We brought out a wood chair and put it out on the ice, and this little guy pushed the chair around for 2 hours of practice every week. It's a good thing you can write, because you were never, ever going to make it as a hockey player. You were awful. This town loves the Philadelphia Flyers. And on behalf of the Philadelphia Flyers, thank you for all that you do to publicize our team and our city. And I did find a picture of Adam and me at the Old York Road Skating Club. He's not with his chair. But Adam, last season was the 50th anniversary of our beloved Flyers. And I want you to take this back and share this with you and your family and relive the glory days. And then I'm going to also ask you to come up here with your brothers and your mom and your TV cast, if any members of the cast are here, because we have a Flyers jersey. So come on up for a quick presentation. I don't think anybody would recognize you unless you put this on. And I would really give this to you, but I think this guy deserves it more for all the heckling. You give him. This is an autograph from Claude Giroux. Come on in here. You gotta put that on. Put it on. Take it off. I say that all the time. We'll look over here. Yes. Where are we looking?
Yeah, if you could turn it the other way.
Turn it the other way. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
We go everybody this way. Thank you.
Thank you. I forgot to mention, we did call him Tripod on the ice. His stick and his two legs. He was awful. Adam, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Adam, you could just stay up here then if you would like, because we have more surprises for you. Okay. And I know tonight is a big night for you here in the city of Philadelphia, because next I'd like to call Mike Harris from the Philadelphia Phillies, who is the newly Vice President of Marketing and New Media, to make a presentation on behalf of the Philadelphia Phillies organization.
We'll make this quick. On behalf of the Phillies organization, welcome. We have a Phillies jersey, and of course, it's got to be personalized for them, right?
They got the middle initial.
We got the middle initial. I think we're supposed to come over here and take this photo. Come on. And of course, okay, here we go. Good. Nice. Thank you. You got a lot more surprises for you.
I'm overwhelmed.
Okay. And up next, Unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, the Philadelphia Eagles are playing on Sunday, so they are traveling today. But on behalf of Don Smolensky and Jeffrey Lurie, Adam, they would like to present you with an Eagles jersey as well, with the Goldberg. So I know that they are playing Kansas City on Sunday, and everyone's predicting an Eagles win. The 17, and I know we had the Phillies just gave you a 17. It's not just because of the year, but it's also because of PHL 17, where your syndication is being showed. Okay, and up next, it's not a sports, but I have with me the honor of introducing Colleen Lebec, Assistant Manager of Public Relations for Wawa, who's here today. So, Colleen.
I'm going to keep it short, too. I just wanted to say thank you. We are so excited to serve the Philadelphia communities, and it gives us great pride to see ourselves in some of the episodes of the Goldberg shows. So we're really excited to keep watching them, especially now that they're in syndication. So thank you.
Let's take some photos.
I'm going to make you hold this.
Sure.
This is how we treat all of our guests here in Philly. And I know, Adam, that your brother Barry is an Eagles season ticket holder, and they told me that he drives from New York, right, for the games on Sunday. So pretty impressive. Thank you for your passion and your love for the Philadelphia Eagles. I also want to say that there's someone very special in the hearts of sports fans and Philadelphians alike who could not be with us this afternoon, but when they heard that you were coming to the city of Philadelphia on behalf of Mayor Jim Kenney to invite you, they didn't want to miss this chance to give Adam, the Goldbergs, and Philadelphia a well-deserved shout-out. So, Adam, I believe you'll recognize this guy. If everyone can turn to the screen to look at a special message.
Hey, Adam, it's Ron Jaworski, or referred to on the show as Big Ron. I really appreciate that. And hey, use my name, use my likeness, use my jersey any way you want, as long as you can sell some couches. It's very, very cool. In all seriousness, congratulations on an unbelievable show. The notoriety the Goldberg show has brought to the great city of Philadelphia, all the success you had, and all the positive accolades that you bring to the city of Philadelphia. It's absolutely awesome. Congratulations. What a very special day to honor you and the Goldbergs, the mayor and the whole gang. I missed the mayor, by the way. Great guy. Congratulations and good luck.
All right, well, that's enough for the surprises. But no, I know officially we did not officially present, but Adam did receive a proclamation today, and the proclamation is on behalf of the Goldbergs Syndication Day here in the city of Philadelphia. So, Adam, we also have that proclamation for you. And I just want to thank you all so much for being here and showing that true Philadelphia love and spirit, and to salute the talent, the creativity, and success of Adam Goldberg right here in his hometown and the television home of the Goldbergs. So we wish Adam, his extraordinary staff, and his exceptionally talented cast all of the very best as The Goldbergs debuts in its 5th blockbuster season and broadcasts its 100th episode. So, Adam, you are an inspiration to all of us here who truly believe in making dreams come true. And that includes a whole new generation of young Philadelphia screenwriters and filmmakers. So we want to thank you. It was an honor on behalf of the Office of City Representative to help produce today's event. And I want to thank Devin and Melissa from Adam's team and everyone who took the time to come out this afternoon at your lunchtime to be here, and all of our great hometown Philadelphia sports teams who truly accepted the invitation and were honored to support you. So congratulations, Adam, on your syndication, and have a blast at the Phillies game tonight. We're looking forward to watching. Thank you, everyone.
up. Thank you, Mayor Kenny. I mean, this is really an honor. I'm very surprised by the outpouring of love and the tasty cakes. I'm Adam Goldberg, F. Goldberg, creator of the Goldbergs. I'm also honorary member of the JTP, Jenkintown Posse, lifetime Flyers fan, and I prefer Rocky IV to Rocky I. It's the one where they go to Russia. I like that one. It really is an honor. You know, for people to watch this show and you just see the end product, the truth is, people don't know, it took nearly a decade for me to find the courage to write this show. 10 years ago, I had a meeting with this guy right here, Doug Robinson. He's a television producer, Happy Madison, and he said, well, what do you got? And I said, oh, I have a bunch of ideas, and we discussed. I said, I also have some videotapes of my family, because he asked, tell me about your family. I said, I used to videotape everything. And he said, well, bring them in, let me see them. So I brought him these tapes 10 years ago, and I showed him a video where my brothers Eric and Barry got into it wasn't a fist fight, it was like a angry wrestling match over who would pick up a pizza. And then we proceeded to all sit down at the table where my dad called us morons for about 20 minutes. And then about 10 minutes later, we were all laughing and having fun and went to Chinese food. And then Doug said, do you ever watch these tapes? I said, yeah, we watch and laugh about those tapes now, and my mom watches and goes, my hair look good. So Doug, like any good TV producer, said, this is a TV show. And like any neurotic writer, I said, it is absolutely not. But you know, I was 100% positive that no one would ever want to spend their free time watching like what went on in the Goldberg household. Mostly because my childhood was just this blur of my dad's tighty-whities and my mom wearing her ugly sweaters and my brother Barry going into this deep spiral of anger when the Eagles would lose. So I'm like, who would want to watch that? And, you know, I understood why Chris Rock, he did a show about his family. I understood, like, Louis C.K., he has a show about his life. But I'm just a dude from Jenkintown. I'm nobody. And, you know, I was convinced that no one would want to see anything about, I was a Spielberg-obsessed geek who lived in, you know, the suburbs. I spent my days riding bikes with my best friends, Emmy and Chad, and making movies with Chad Kremp across the street. And I never expected that people would relate, but they did. They saw their family in my family. They saw their school in my school. And the best part was watching, like, people in Philly discover, because I didn't make it obvious at first that this was a show secretly written for the people of Philadelphia. I can safely say I am the only network comedy, present, past, and future, that will go out of its way to talk about the Cheltenham hoagie at Lee's Hoagie House. And ABC will get very confused. They'll say, look, it's a 21-minute show. Do you have to spend 2 minutes arguing about tasty cakes? And I will say, in my house, the crimpet was like, that was a delicacy. It was like caviar. So yes, I should be spending more than 2 minutes. So they would settle for like the 2-minute conversation. And the references are gratuitous. They're sometimes so like blatantly wedged in, it's awkward. And what I loved was the immediate response from the people of Philly. On Twitter, on Facebook, I discovered firsthand how passionate the fans are here. I would be like literally hailed a hero for mentioning Dance Party USA or mentioning Martin's Aquarium, the staples, Zipperhead on South Street, the staples of the 80s. And then I saw the other side when I said, you know, oh, Murray has to be eating a soft pretzel in the scene. And the prop person didn't know. So they went to like they got a regular soft pretzel, like the kind in a movie theater, and not the kind you'd buy at an off-ramp in Philly. And people came at me hard. They're like, what is he eating? That's not a soft pretzel. And then there was Wawa Gate, which we named it on the show, which I made the terrible mistake of saying that Wawa sold beer on Sundays in Philly. And people nearly rioted. And I officially apologize for making the mistake about the confusing liquor laws in Pennsylvania. But I saw the passion and how people were responding here. And it just made me step up my game to the point where I make people on my show like Doug crazy with the specifics. There was one scene where they were in a pizza shop and I said, let's do Fiesta Pizza on Old York Road. And they were like, great, we'll go, we'll get approvals. They spent weeks clearing it and they come back and they approved Fiesta Pizza 3, not Fiesta Pizza 5. Fiesta Pizza 3 was on Germantown Avenue. And the actors are waiting to say the lines. And I said, we can't shoot this. We have to change all the signs immediately. And everyone thought I was insane. I'm like, Philly will come after me. Because we say Old York Road. And that's a number 3 up there. So I can't have that. Philly demands Fiesta Pizza 5. Also the response, what happened was, at first the show was about crazy experiences in my school or with my family, but then it became experiences just here in the city. We recreated like some of the historical moments, Live Aid, Hands Across America at the Art Museum. And then with every big event, there's also, it's kind of absurd when you think about it. There's a network TV episode about trying to bring a keg into Alvathorpe Park in Elkins Park. Like that made it on TV. People in the world now know, across the world know that people in the 80s tried to sneak into the Highway Theater to watch Porky's. They know if you're cool after prom, you'll go to Jim's Steaks. They know, as Ike mentioned, I played at the Old York Road Skating Club and scored on my own goal. The only goal I've ever made, and then had the awkward car ride home with my dad where he quietly said, "You don't have to do this anymore." They know the Willow Grove Mall had, in the 80s, a Spencer's Gift, a Contempo Casuals, and an arcade named Challenges. And I'll just say, the set guy left off the S in one episode, and people called me on it. They're like, it's not challenge, dude, it's challenges. That's how much people love their Philly. They know there's a bar in Jenkintown called Buckets that gives out beer at unreasonably low prices. And our fans, now they take trips to Jenkintown like it's some tourist spot. There was a guy who tweeted me a photo in front of Van Tresca's Tuxedos like, hey, check it out, I'm here. And I'm like, go see the Liberty Bell, dude. Why are you at a tuxedo shop? People go into Krem's Florist, which is on the show a lot. And they ask Chad, my best friend, for autographs, and they yell at his brother Drew for breaking up with Erica. Season 1, look, I didn't know if this would last past 5 episodes. We made it to episode 8, and in real life, we wore Flyers gear top to bottom in my house. And my brother, Barry, would pick one t-shirt and wear it like for years until it would fall apart in the wash. It was like his baby blanket, but he'd wear it. And we did an episode about that Flyer shirt called Big Orange, season 4, but I knew season 1, I had that plan. So I had Troy wear this Flyer shirt every episode. In season 8, I read an article, and it said that the Goldbergs has given the Flyers $450,000 of free network promotion. And I'm now at episode 100. So it was never my intention to do things like this, but in ABC, I'm sure they're not happy. They have people paying, but they know that this show, for it to work, has to be about me and my town and my city and my family. And I thank them for letting me do that. The hardest thing about this show is my dad passed away. He's not here to watch it. And it's really surreal, because I'll catch Jeff Garland, who's amazing. He channels my dad out of the corner of my eye on set. They'll watch my videos and dress him identically. And I'll say out of the corner of my eye, that guy looks like my dad. That's weird. Oh wait, that's Jeff Garland, my TV dad. So it's been a very surreal experience. It's bittersweet that he's not here. I know he'd say, well, it looks like I was wrong. You're not a total moron, which would be his version of I'm really proud of you. But what it's let me do is create my favorite childhood memories with him. I wrote an episode, one of my favorites. Barry gave me the idea about how my dad would leave early from every sports game to beat the traffic. The traffic was like his enemy. And sometimes it'd be like, all right, well, second period's over, we gotta go. And it's like, there's hours left. It's true, Barry melted down because they heard on the subway home, like the Eagles scored a touchdown, and my dad was convinced they'd blow it, and Barry had a meltdown. We did an episode about that Barry didn't get to see the big winning play. I think my favorite episode of the series was the time when I went to Veterans Stadium and my dad said, look, you're old enough, go to the bathroom by yourself. I don't need to go with you. I was like 12. And I went in there and it was a trough and there was like 100 people in there and I froze. I got like pee shy and I had to go so bad and I stood there and like pretended to go. I'm like, what is this? And then I was so like flustered, or as my dad would say, fachotted, that I went out and I got lost and there were no cell phones and I couldn't find them. Now, mind you, on the show, we did this, and I meticulously got photos of the bathrooms and Veterans Stadium, and we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to recreate that bathroom, which was probably worth about, at that time, maybe $10. So we recreated the bathrooms, and the other thing I wanted in that show was when I found my dad in the parking lot after most of the cars had left, because I knew where my car was, and he came to meet me. I thought he was going to scream at me for getting lost. He gave me a huge hug. He was freaked out. And he was so happy I was safe. So I wanted, in the same way, to meticulously create the bathroom at Veterans Stadium. I wanted to recreate that hug because it was very impactful for me. And it's all I talked about that week. We got to get the hug. They did Jeff Garlin hugged Sean like 100 times. And people often talk about that hug as being one of their favorite moments on the show. It's because it's one of the favorite moments of my life. I'm aware that a show about the 80s called The Goldbergs, which mentions tasty cakes and Transformers and G.I. Joe and the Goonies, isn't going to win an Emmy. There's a lot of comedies now that have a lot to say, and my goal with this show was just to make people feel good, to have a show parents can watch with their kids. So we're not winning any trophies, but I came to terms with that. But this, I never thought would happen, and for me, this is honestly better than any award I could ever get. So like an Emmy speech, I will quickly thank people that made this happen. I didn't know they'd be here today. Ike Richmond and Michael Harris for trusting me. I mean, to have someone you don't know put their franchise on television and trust them to make sure we'll do it in the right way is a big thing. So thank you to both of them for, wherever they are, for trusting me to just give me Flyers gear and Phillies gear. And also, even Don, the president of the Eagles, has reached out and wants to bring the team this year and have some people visit. And we're going to do a big Eagles episode this year. So even like to Don, like thank you for getting on board with this show. I'd like to thank my dad for giving me a sense of humor. I'd like to thank my mom, Beverly, for staying over in my dorm room my first Saturday night in college because she couldn't let go, and at the time seemed nuts, but it turned into my season 5 premiere episode. So thank you. Thank you for your support and your undying love of your delicious Snuggle Monster. I'd like to really thank my brother Barry. He gets it pretty hard on this show. He has the best sense of humor about it. He can laugh at himself. Thank you for giving me the freedom to make Troy, Barry, the breakout character. And yes, you do run like that when you get angry. I'd like to apologize to Eric for making you a girl, Erica. But I think we know when Erica does the exact opposite of her parents and acts super stubborn and digs in, we know it's you. I'd like to thank Troy and the cast for just every week taking what we write and making it 1,000,000 times better and giving it their all. I'd like to thank my best friends, Emmy and Chad. They're here today. For Chad for giving me all our childhood movie tapes, and Emmy for letting me. Emmy always said, "Can you make me a character?" And now she regrets it. But thank you guys for letting me embarrass us all on national TV. I showed a video of Chad and I dancing to New Kids on the Block song. So as hard as Barry gets it, I embarrassed myself too. I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, Sarah, for all of her support. This is, I mean, she's a therapist, and she works overtime being married into this family. So honestly, I love you dearly. Thank you so much. And to our kids, thank you for being such an inspiration to me. And I know you say it's inappropriate when I drop my pants at the front door the minute I walk in, but that is my father's legacy, and it will continue And I will pass that down to you. I'd like to thank Sony and Devin. Devin knows I hate being on the other side of the camera, and it makes me very anxious. And I don't like the attention on me, despite the fact I've videotaped myself as a kid so much. So thank you, Devin and Sony, for producing, and Devin for arranging this amazing trip. And lastly, again, Doug, the guy, the show began with him. He's someone who takes writers and sees what the spark is for them, and he turns it into television. I owe this guy my career. There's no way I could thank him enough. I thrive when it comes to writing and editing, being behind a keyboard, but I'm not a manager of people, and I'm a terrible manager of time. And the reason this show is done and done to perfection is because of my line producer, Annette, and Doug right there making it happen. And most of all, I'd like to thank this city. This is a beautiful day for me and my family. And again, I am sorry about Wawa selling beer on Sundays. Forgive me. Thank you.
I don't know the future, but the past keeps getting clearer every day. I know they weren't the best of times. I didn't pass the test, and no outlines. I couldn't change your name, 'cause all those days were mine. So we'll rewind.